Alright, welcome back to Our Oklahoma Life. I want to take a minute and ask you to like and subscribe to the video. It doesn't cost you anything. You can unsubscribe whenever you want, but it really helps out our channel get more views, the more subscriptions and the more watches we have. If you want to make a comment, a few people have made comments, just try and keep it nice. We're just in this just like everybody else. We're trying to figure out our way. Anyways, this video is going to be about emergency services, insurance, any fees that come with that, with living in a rural area. We live in a really rural area, and we found out a whole bunch of things this week that we didn't know before. So watch the video. I have a short time lapse of the fire. Luckily my time-lapse camera didn't get burned. And a short video of us walking around the property after the fire. So watch that, and then we'll talk about everything else. Okay, well, we're back up at the property. It's about 5 or 6 days after the fire, and you can see off here in the distance where it changes from green to brown. Everything the brown is where the brush fire was, kind of brown, a little black, and it burned all the way from the road up to there, probably about 4, maybe 5 acres, and it got within, I'd say, 60 to 70 yards of the pad, which it can't burn down the pad. So, but luckily the Albion Fire Department, Clayton Fire Department, and the Forestry Service were able to get up here and get it put out, and they cut in some fire breaks down there to stop it, and no damage. We do have one dead stump out there that's still smoldering. I don't know how long that's going to go on for. We don't have any water on the property, so I can't, try and put it out or anything. So we'll just, let it burn its course. There's nothing around it to burn, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. Anyways, could have been much worse. Glad the fire departments and forestry service were here to stop it, and we'll have to get something, a tractor or something out here and get all this brush cut down. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. Have a good day. About right here, but you can see for a couple acres out this way, it's all kind of dark brown and a little bit black. That all burned underneath. It didn't burn everything to the top, it just burned it all underneath. Came out here, everything you see that looks dead, that all got burnt. All the way back up in here, that's all burnt underneath, all the way over here. So it looks like we had, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 acres get burnt. You can see right there the ground, it just burned underneath. All up in there. You can see where it burned this way. That's our pad over there. So it burned probably within 100 feet of our pad. All this has got to get mowed down as soon as I get a tractor. got a stump here. It was still smoldering earlier today when we got here. Looks like it's pretty much out. Hopefully nothing will catch from that. But it didn't go over that way. All that side's nice and green. It did go up here. Alright, welcome back. I hope you liked that little fire video. It really wasn't as bad as it looked on the video. It burnt mostly brush, the grass underneath everything. So we were surprised and probably a little lucky. You know, people do controlled burns all the time. We will probably do controlled burns in the future. It just made me really nervous being 3 hours from our property, and it was on fire. I was at home in Garland, Texas, and we had some more dirt work being done. And my dirt work guy, Chris, he called me up and he goes, "Hey man, did you know your property's on fire?" You know, I was like, "No, I didn't know that." So his wife called the Albion Volunteer Fire Department, our police chief over there. Her name's Lulu, and so Albion Police Department, our fire department, volunteer fire department, the Clayton Fire Department, and the Forestry Service all responded. They cut in a couple fire breaks, and they, you know, stamped a lot of it out. They did a good job. We did have a stump that was smoldering for a few days, but I believe that's out. Somebody on our road is being very careless and throwing out cigarettes, probably. They think that's what it's from. So anyways, so that's what happened. You know, it looked a lot worse than it was. It turned out to be not that big of a deal, but you know, who knows? It could have been a big deal. And being 3 hours away, it had us a little worried. So the things we found out was, well, for one, the Albion Volunteer Fire Department, they have a subscription service. So it costs you $40 a year, and it covers your property for a year. You know, they'll come out and put out fires and do whatever fire departments do. And for $40 a year, that's kind of a bargain. You might want to check in your area to see, you know, if that's the way they work in your area of the country. I didn't know that. We've always lived in the city, and my taxes pay for the fire department. A lot of money, a whole lot more than $40. So we didn't know that. Also, I didn't know who to call. Actually, the town that responded with the volunteer fire department, they are one direction from us. Our address is actually the town the opposite way of us, and the town where our address is at, Tuscaloma, they don't have a fire department. They don't have a police department. They have a school. It's one building for all the grades, and the total town population is 151 people. And so we rely on the Albion Fire Department, and then after that would be the Clayton Fire Department, which is about 15 miles away, and in the opposite direction. And there's a lot of forestry service in our area, since we have a lot of state parks, federal parks, big Corps of Engineers lake and everything. So, you know, they all three responded. They got to put out really quick, but I didn't know who responded. I never even thought to ask. I thought you dial 911 and somebody shows up. Well, that does happen. You can dial 911. It goes to Clayton, and then they contact people. We also now we have the number of the Albion Fire Department, the Clayton Fire Department, and the Fire Service. I have those all written down. And you know, another emergency service you might need is medical attention. Well, you can call the fire department. They'll get you, you know, like triage type medical assistance. We do have a family medical center in Clayton. I belong to the Choctaw Nation, so we have the Choctaw Hospital is in Tallahena, so I get to go there. It's all paid for because I'm a member of the Choctaw Nation. So and that's 18 miles away. I knew that. I just didn't know who did our fire, and the police, the Clayton police would respond, or a state trooper, because we don't have a police department. Albion, I'm pretty sure, doesn't have a police department. Tallahassee and Clayton have a police department. So either way, the police department's 18 miles one way and 15 miles the other way. So you're not going to get very fast response, in a police situation. So it's good to know those things. It's good to know where your emergency services are coming from, and have the numbers ready if you need them, and to find out if it's going to cost you anything. Because without a subscription, they're not going to bill us this time. I don't believe she didn't say she was going to bill us, but they have the option to bill you for their services. $40 subscription for a year is a bargain. So anyways, that's the major thing we found out this week. Emergency services, we actually had to have our property 911 listed, get our address registered as a 911 address for our insurance. We do have insurance. It's builder's insurance, so it's not going to cover, it's going to cover our build, anything that goes wrong with our build, if it burns down, falls down, people steal from it, whatever. They do have some requirements. I don't remember what they are, and they actually go over some of the stuff. They ask you if your house is visible from the road and all that kind of stuff. If there's a fire department nearby, if you have fire hydrants, which we don't. We have a wet weather creek. That's about it. So anyways, insurance. A lot of people ask about insurance on the barndominium pages and on social media and stuff. And our insurance, our builder's insurance, is only about $700 a year. Which is reasonable to me. I mean, we got 40 acres. We're building. It's not supervised all the time. And our homeowner's insurance shouldn't be over $1,000. Our homeowner's insurance here in Dallas, before we sold our house, was right at $2,200 a year. It was expensive. And so if we can keep it under $1,000, we're happy. So anyways, that's what we found out this week. We had some more dirt work done. We weren't planning on it. The electric company said that they would run the electric line up the side of our driveway, and that we had cut in. And they came back and said, no, we're going to run it straight from the pole that's about 400 yards to the east. And we need a right-of-way cut in from the pole up to your house, kind of like at an angle. Our driveway is over here, and they want us to cut in another right-of-way, catty corner. And they were going to charge me a couple $1,000s to do it. And I said, no, I'll get my dirt guy to do it. And dirt guy came out. He cleared it all in a couple hours for, I think it was $700. So got rid of all the trees. I mean, didn't haul them away, but they're all piled up, and cut a big 30-foot swath through there, which is what they require to run the electric lines there. But I didn't like that they said one thing and then did another. So we got about a 4 to 5 week wait on our electric to be installed. We have our plans coming back from our architect on the first part of next week. He said probably Monday or Tuesday. We only had 2 rounds of changes that we made, just minor changes. We'd been going over our plans that we drew for a couple of months, so we pretty much knew that that's what we wanted. And he suggested a few things. We made a few changes, but it's basically exactly what we had envisioned when we sent the plans to him. So we'll get those back next week. I'm going to do a video on plans and architects and stuff. We shopped around a little bit, and the one we chose I'll do a video on and let you know how we liked them. So anyways, that's about it. Make sure you know where your emergency services are, because we had no clue. I had no clue who to call, and luckily my dirt guy was there when it he got there just after it started. So luckily it could have burned a lot more. It probably would have only burned underbrush, but there has been a fire on our property before. There's burnt trees and stuff back up in the woods, so I don't know when that happened. Obviously sometime before we bought it, but most everything's recovered. There's just a few burnt trees here and there. So anyways, remember, if you got anything from this video, anything at all, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and so like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff, and that'll really help us to get our channel out there and get it seen. So anyways, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.